Hi guys, I hope everyone is home and safe. As you know, we are all in quarantine, and so I am personally doing a lot of things which I wanted to do for a long time and I couldn't because of lack of time. But since last week, my bakery is closed and I'm not taking any orders till the lockdown period is over, and depending on how things are, so I just thought let's do this. Like, it's been on the cards for a long time, and I posted a question on my Insta stories, and I got quite an overwhelming response from all of you. So thank you so much for pushing me to do this. And so what I thought about doing for the first video is I thought let's go through a brief journey throughout from the starting point when I decided to get into baking and soul sugar and how it is for very briefly, and then from next time on maybe we can get into the details, and you guys can send me DMs and let me know what else you want to do. I can even call some of my friends who are entrepreneurs. They are bakers, they are into a lot of other businesses, so any entrepreneurial question or anything at all you want to discuss, we can do that. I'll try to be as honest as I can and answer all those things. So let's see how it goes. So let me start by introducing myself. I don't show my face that often. So I'm Himangi. I am the founder of Soul Sugar Bakery and Patisserie, and I started off as an engineer. Typically after 12th I did my engineering, but while doing my engineering I used to bake. I was a big fan of Nigella's. I used to watch all her YouTube shows and I used to bake some of the things she used to. And so after that, what I had decided was, okay, I'm gonna earn a lot till I'm 40 and then quit everything and start a cafe or something of that sort, similar to what Hrithik Roshan's plan was in Zindagi Na Mile Dobara. But of course, after my alright, sorry, I got cut off because there was low memory. Anyways, let's move ahead. So after my engineering, my plan was to earn till 40 and then do this. But then I was working at Mu Sigma Business Solutions Bangalore. So within 20 months of working, I hit a wall. I knew this is not something I want to do in the long term ahead. So I knew that I wanted to change tracks, and luckily I knew what I wanted to do. So then after a couple of months of contemplation and a lot of things, I decided to come back to Bombay, and I decided on a course I wanted to do, and I just left Bangalore without a backup plan. Even the course ka entry or interview was 3 months from that time I quit. But then by then I had already decided and made up my mind. So then I came here, I interviewed for the course. This was Sophia's 1-year baking and confectionery course, and I got in luckily. And then it was like back to school, learning everything about baking, surrounded by bakes, and then there was a theory, everything. It was a lot of fun, and I had an 3-month internship which I did at St. Regis. That time it was the Palladium. And after that I started working because always my plan was to start something of my own, even when it wasn't baking. I think I was 10, 12 that ultimately I wanted to do business. So I wanted to get as much experience as I want. So after my course and my internship, I went to Indigo, Delicatessen. I mean, I knew about Rahul Akerkar, and he was an engineer and he did his MS, so I was very fascinated by Degustables hospitality. So that's why I approached them. I called HR through LinkedIn, and I got an interview luckily, and then they asked me for a trial, which they don't do. But because they thought I was an engineer, they weren't sure because it's a huge culture shock. Okay, it's a very tough environment, and they wanted to gauge how serious I was. So I had a trade test, what they call, and then luckily it went well and I got in. And then for almost 1.5 years I worked there, and it was so much fun. Like, it was a live pastry kitchen. I mean, it was amazing. Like, that whole thing will require an episode. So I learned a lot, and finally after that I realized कि okay, now is the time to do something on your own. So after that I left that job, and then I started off, and starting off I still don't have a date when I started, because my starting point was when I started a Facebook page, because I started from home. I didn't have any place to work from. I started from home, so I made a Facebook page, obviously, and and then that's how Soul Sugar started. First orders were from friends and family. I sent everyone invites to like the page, which that time I was scared about, which is quite funny now. It's quite a small thing, but that time I was like, oh. So that time I was like, oh my god, who's gonna like my page and this that. So but still I sent out, and then all my school friends, college friends, work friends, neighbors, everything. Slowly I started getting orders. A lot of people I hadn't even spoken to in college or anything. I just knew their name, they knew my name. So that is how it started. Then they started liking the product, they started recommending me. Then I started networking a lot. And with other entrepreneurs and everything, I got into a lot of that. So I grew my connects, and that's how it started growing. And in 1.5 years it was impossible to function from home. So then I was looking for a place. Luckily I found a great place very close to my house, and I got it on rent. Then we had all this commercial kitchen equipment fitted in, renovated the whole space, and now I work from there, and it's just 5 minutes from my house, and it's like a second home. So yeah, that is how it is. And there are a lot of things in between. When you go into details, a lot of hiccup and speed bumps. I just introduced it very briefly, but we'll get into that. So for now, let me know what else we can do, and let me know in your comments what you want to hear and what you're doing during this time. I myself am doing vlogs for you, and then I'm reading books, I'm scheduling, I'm making a plan for the future, because small businesses are really hit by this. This is something no one expected. So there should be a contingency plan in the future. So I want to plan classes, I want to do other creative stuff related to baking and otherwise, So yeah, that's it. So please like the video. If you like it, please DM me, or you can even email me, or there's my number in the bio, so you can WhatsApp me what you want next, and I'll see you I think I'll do this every 2 days. So let's see how it goes. So thank you if you've seen the whole video. Thanks for your patience, and thank you so much for following and listening to me. Have a safe day. Stay indoors unless you're going for a grocery run, and then wear a mask, wash your hands after coming back. Bye bye. See ya.